coming up in today's video.
Yeah, here's the Western Wessex tail rotor gearbox, and we can spin it. Very interesting. Of course, that'll be done by a motor, I think. Here we've got the Western Wessex 60 analog instrumental panel. And then above, of course, we've got the more modern, up-to-date glass cockpit. We've also got a gear right here. It doesn't say what aircraft it's from. I'm assuming it's the Western Wessex again. But we've got the gear here. You can see how pressurised the tyres are, or where they're meant to be. Obviously, they've gone a bit flat over time. And we've got the Western Wessex main rotor blade. Got the Western WG30 cockpit. Again, it's not the glass cockpit that you see these days. It's all analog stuff. Can't really see it on camera, but that's interesting. You can see. Look at the sides of this aircraft. The rotor blades are off, of course, but. Look at that. And the Gazelle AH Mark 1. It's only half of the helicopter reports. And then over here we've got the Sud Aviation SA318 Charlie. Avalet 2 France, which is nice. Again, them seats don't look very comfortable. Them ones do look comfortable, but obviously that's not the full helicopter there. We've got the full rotors here on the... Okay, we've got some parts then, so again, like engine parts. This is from the de Havilland Gypsy major piston engine. Very, not going to touch. Here we have the Lynx helicopter. This is the helicopter that broke the world speed record. You can see in there, don't want to get copyrighted on my video. Got in there. This one's actually rather large size again. Golf Dash Lima Yankee November X-ray. World speed record, you can see all the stuff on the side here. Again, it's a Rolls Royce. Got the extremely long rotors. This one is the Westland WG13. A lot of the Westlands have the same noses. This one here. See them there again with the analog cockpit because it's an older aircraft. From the Royal Navy. We've got the Western Wessex. Here we've got the Western Wessex HCC Mark 4. Built in the for the UK, and it's the Royal Helicopter, first ever helicopter to carry the Queen. Apparently, it's very tall. Look what the cockpit is. It's almost like a 747 up there, a little bit. I'm sure not many people are gonna like that in the comments, but this is of course the Queen's helicopter. We are gonna do something behind here. Again, this is a bit of an older cockpit, and I'm surprised. I think part of it must have been taken out because surely it would come over to the first officer co-pilot side. This looks like it could be used as a air ambulance or something. It's a military general purpose because look at the bed in the back. Perhaps an injured soldier may lay there for quick reaction for medicals. X-ray Papa 165 is the reg of this aircraft. Here's another Western Wessex. This one's a HAS-3 using the Falklands War as an anti-submarine aircraft. Very interesting. We can also see over here the nose. Well, I'd call it a nose on an aircraft. You can see all the... Now this right here is a bit of a funky window setup on this aircraft. This here is the front observation window that the pilots would have had to look at. And we've got the middle one and this one. I'm not sure I'm a big fan of that, to be honest. It looks very... It looks like a submarine itself, to be honest, but it's a Westland WS51 Dragonfly HR Mach 5. Here's the Westland Whirlwind HAS Mach 7, UK again. Again with the higher up. The ones that are UK, the Westlands, you can see they've got really high cockpits with massive bodies. We've got the exhaust keep clear thing here. Look at the landing gears. I mean, look how... It doesn't look like they could hold a very hard landing because of the weight of them. And it's a very small landing gear pole. We've also got the rear landing gears here. Can't really see up in the cockpit up there. This helicopter here, another military one obviously. This one is the Westland Wasp HAS Mach 1. And this is for the Royal Navy, the registration X-Ray Tango 443. You can actually have a nice look in here. We've got the big tour, the MI8 PS Papa Sierra here. Again, a bit of a funky aircraft. I mean, look at all this room down here. Would this be wires, or would it be maybe some of the equipment? Because that there is actually wasted space, I would say. But he's probably got a good reason for that. Here's the cockpit in this one. Please do not touch pedals. Okay, so the rudder still works. The rudder mechanism still works on this aircraft, which is interesting. Up here we've got rotors again. And it's a very large aircraft actually. We've got another Westland, a Westland WG 30 Series 100. We've actually got a pilot in this one, obviously not a real pilot. This one again, looks like it could have been used for transporting the more important people in the military, like the higher up, maybe the chief commands, or it could be, looking at the registration, it could have been a civilian. And just a quick background of this helicopter for anyone that likes their Marvel. This helicopter was the actual helicopter seen in the Black Widow. So it's pretty interesting. So just looking at this aircraft, it looks like the one in Top Gun Maverick, if any of you have seen that. I'm assuming most of you have, where the helicopter tries to shoot Maverick himself. I'm not going to tell you the results of that, obviously, because it's going to ruin the movie. But this is lower down in the cockpit, and there's an upper one as well. That's rather unusual. I've not seen a helicopter like that before. This aircraft is armed, apparently. What is that? Oh no, that's for that helicopter. This is an armed aircraft, it says, like here. So we've got again here, something there, and then over here we've got where all the weapons would be. And then there's another one here. Probably more weapons can be loaded onto there, like missiles and that. We've seen one of these been loaded on the Harrier, London Gatwick, of course. If you haven't seen that video, it's quite old, but you can go back and watch it after this one, of course. And then we've got these. It's like a wing for the weapon. Very interesting. So this is the Kamov KA Kilo Alpha 26 Hoodlum, and it's Russian built aircraft. 2 sets of rotors there. This is the flight deck over here. Even it's got G Eurocopter. And this one here is a fly-by-wire aircraft. Not like the fly-by-wire in Flight Simulator, it's got fly-by-wire controls on board. Got the Eurocopter here. This is more a modern day aircraft. This registration is Foxtrot Whiskey Quebec Alpha Papa. You can have a little look inside of this one if you like. As you can see, it's like an older version of like the air ambulance we see, kind of thing. Same kind of sort of size aircraft. And this is the front. This is the Aerospatial SA365 November Dolphin. Here we've got the Robinson R22, of course. This one here, not the exact aircraft obviously because it's in this museum, but this aircraft here you've probably seen when you've been plane spotting, or even over flights over your house. We've got the beacon. We've seen this a few times, the R22, R44s. Golf-Oscar Tango Echo Delta. There we go. And it's a very small cockpit, but people fly this, people own these just for their generic flight. Okay, so everything in here was used in the Vietnam War. So this is the Augusta Bell 47 Golf 3B Sciax AH Mach 1. And this one here, it's rather unusual. It's got a massive glass dome on the front, so you can have a really, well, a 360 view. It's got a very small amount of instruments blocking the views. Very interesting. Coming over here then we've got the Bell UH-1 Icarus. Yeah, bit of an older aircraft. This one looks like, here's the Hueys, and I'll put some pictures up as well on the screen so you can see these aircraft in more detail. This was the United States Army. We have the SUD SA321 Foxtrot Super Freelon. Very interesting aircraft here. It's Olympic. It's a long aircraft. It's got the Olympic rings on the back actually. Just seen that there. So French rotor blade development. These rotor blades were developed in France. Very interesting. And it's huge. It's probably around the same length, I would say, as your Airbus A318, maybe Embraer E190. Same length right to the end of the rotor, that is, not just where the passengers would sit. And here is the Bristol helicopters inside. Here's the picture. Okay, here we go. Pretty dark in here again, but the Golf Dash Tango India Golf Echo. These helicopters are still used today, I would say. But Bristol helicopters, of course, you've probably heard of that. They operate up north of the United Kingdom. This is an Aerospatial AS332 Lima Super Puma. Very nice. Augusta A109. Of course, we see the Augustas. That's what most air ambulances are a lot of the time these days. But yeah, you can tell by the shape, really, can't you, at the front again there. Interesting. Okay, right. Out here we okay, you may be wondering, why is there a Windsocker helicopter museum? Well, there's somewhere, I don't know where, I'm assuming it's in this field here, or over there, there's an active helicopter pad. Oh, okay, yeah, as you can see here, we've got the active air traffic control tower. Here we go then. Jet fuel, Jet A1, Jet A, Jet B. So that's what fuel it uses. Wow. Look at all them fuel places. Got a massive door there. Let's go and have a look at the front of this aircraft. Again, it's got the smoother nose. It's not as long of a nose as it was on some of the other aircrafts we saw. Smaller aircrafts. Got the rider pedals there. And the flight controls up there. It doesn't look in a too bad condition inside. Looks like a passenger aircraft. Okay then, it's a bit zoomed in. Yeah. This one here looks like they've left the nose wheel turned a little bit. But Golf Echo, Lima Echo Charlie. Western WG series. This one is the 200. Very yellow. This one hit next to it, Golf Dash Bravo Kilo Golf Delta, is the Western WG Series 100. So you can tell that the nose difference, that one has been dented a little bit. This one does look a little bit less treated, but it's also older. This one here has got the Royal Mail sign on it, British International. But we can have a look in the cockpit of this one, I think. Just about there. Maybe it would have been used for some mail. Got a Moscow thing here, you can try out, of course. It tells you all of the prefixes here, and it's apparently still used today, so on the radio beacons, VOR, DME things, which we can see.
I had to look for it on the map when I came here. I was 16. I joined the Air Force and I started the training at RAF Locking on the 30th of April 1952.
Got the frequency 129.25 on here. It's a rather large scanner, basically. Oh dear, right, we're not going to play that anymore. Okay, we've got some flight simulator controls here. Oh, we can shoot. I don't know if you can see that, folks. But it doesn't really. There's a Spitfire there. You can shoot there. We've also got a radar. I mean, I wish I could. This is a virtual radar display. So we've got the flight name and call sign, the direction the aircraft is going, the vertical speed, the height in hundreds of feet, where the aircraft's come from. Got the call signs here. BAW British Airways. Well, it's not really. It's Speedbird, isn't it? Yeah. So we've got the. Well, there's no flight directors there, but Jet 2, Chanex 9, Foxtrot, Quebec. If the mouse worked, I could actually show you a live air traffic control tower view here. There's no one inside it, but I think if there was, we would be able to hear it, which is very interesting. But yeah, maybe it's just set up like that. But got the microphone, the binoculars, a light just in case of a failure. Telephone, very old telephone, a map. Interesting. Does the clock work? Okay, so that brings this week's video at the Western Super Mare Helicopter Aviation Museum to an end. If you've been here before, type in the comments below, or any other museum you've been to that you'd like to let me know about, type in the comments below, and I'll be sure to answer your questions and comments. Next week here on Brandon Planespotter 23, we've got Big and Hill Planespotter Part 2, so if you are new around here and you don't want to miss that, please subscribe with notifications on, and like this video, it helps the channel out a lot. From me, Brandon Planespotter 23, I'll see you all next week here on the channel. Bye bye.